Well, sorry. This was our first glimpse. Those of you who know us know we've never been overseas, ever. India is the last place we were going to go. And this is us walking out of the airport going, what? Noise. India is a very sensory place. There is noise like you won't believe. There are smells that you won't believe. And the food is so incredible. Couldn't eat any of it, but it was really good. I don't do spicy food, so that kind of cut me out to yogurt and rice. But anyway, so that was our first look of India. Somewhere in there is a guy holding a sign that says Mr. David Atom. That was actually...
We walked past him, and Kristy goes, "Is that the guy for us?" And all I saw was David. And I thought,
That's his middle name.
No. And I'm standing there, people, there's heads everywhere. And we're standing back, we've looked, and I'm going, oh, he must be late. So we're standing back, that's all, I'm actually here, he's over here. And the next minute I see Atom, A-T-A-M, in pen, written in big letters in pen. I went up and I said, are you from... Oh, and I saw his name tag, and yeah, that was him.
Yeah, that was quite incredible. So that was our first experience going, we don't speak the language, we don't know where we are. Anyway, so we stayed there that night. The first day, to move on with it, we went to a little school called Good Shepherd. And this is how they greeted us, which I think is just beautiful. They do a little painting in the sand, and you notice that a lot around the shops. They'll put those out the front. So there were some kids that met us there, and this is the team as they all get ready and start unpacking everything. We've got gifts for each individual child that's named as well. So as you can see, it was quite a big event. And here are the kids for you. All very excited. They start school, I think, from 3. So they're quite young now.
They sang us a heap of songs too, but
Yeah.
there's a heap of videos, so we've narrowed it down.
Well, we had to
Because
narrow
there's a lot
it
of
down.
songs.
Okay, and here's just some of the little kids. If I can show you. We gave them all a teddy bear. Someone in Ireland bought 450 teddy bears.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Someone
So
from their
these
church
guys are
donated
giving,
them.
crazy giving people. So they each got a teddy bear. So there's the little ones. And I think you only made 3 of them cry, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was quite good.
Yeah.
Only made 3 cry, so we're quite impressed with that.
Can I just say, I was the tallest
Yeah.
and the biggest, and they all come to about here.
And that's the parents only come to about here. No. So this is all of the kids getting their own individual gifts, individually wrapped from everyone, and that's part of Pastor Pat's team. Then we went on to this place, Arise. Do you want to talk about Arise?
Yeah, this
Okay.
touched my heart. A husband and wife team started this orphanage. The husband runs the school, which I didn't know at the time. He actually came with us. It's his house. The house is to the right. It's like a battle axe block, and you come in with gates. There's always big gates and compound fences. This is how they greet us. So these are just flower petals that they throw on us.
All girls, by the way, too.
And all girls, no boys. It's purely girls. But the background of these girls is pretty hard for me to understand. See, this is up on their wall, and it describes these young girls that come in. Their pigment changes from malnutrition. They're covered in mange, lice. They are treated in the hierarchy as the lowest of lows. There's a low, they're beyond the low.
So these are
as
beyond
kids.
untouchables. Untouchables are the people that no one will speak to. These are below that.
And
they're
the
gypsy
story
kids.
is, the lady explained it, we've got a whole video of that as well. So we've got a lot of captured points that we can come back to. But to see these girls now dancing, there's a video which we'll show you in a minute of them saying scriptures, learning scriptures.
I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah. They've learnt scriptures to say. So.
So
So
cute.
sweet, so sweet.
My name is Siva. I'm studying 3rd standard.
We'll stop that there.
So the special thing about this place was that the Sunday school had put a book together. So this is where we decided to give it.
So the gentleman interpreting is Boaz. He's one of Pastor Pat's senior guys. He's born and bred there. And same with Shifra. There's three of them. So he was their interpreter the whole time.
So there's pictures of
So
all
this
your
is the
kids.
book. The kids did. All right. So we did it in a book form. We handed that to them. So the kids can go through and see the photos of our kids. The lovely thing is we can speak about God in these places. We couldn't be seen bringing God into the country though, so that's why we had to keep it very neutral. And then you'll see the second gift we did, which is what the kids made, the bracelets.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, these are girls, and they don't generally see the socialising we see. They're kept in compounds. They get taught there. So these are the bracelets that our kids made that we're handing out.
And they did know Australia, but next time we're going to take a big map. But we said Australia, they're like, oh.
We've got a couple of things about Aussies.
Yeah, yeah. So the interesting thing about this is the kids aren't accepted at school. They're untouchables, so they can't go to school. The teachers won't talk to them. The kids won't talk to them. You're not allowed to. They're untouchable or less than that. But because of what this place has done, those kids are now accepted in school. And these are some of the awards that they've won, which we thought was incredible, considering they went from nothing, living in the dirt, and now they're getting awards at school.
And you can see
that was pretty impressive.
When you see them now, you wouldn't know their background because they've got healthiness about them. They're fed regularly, but that's through funding. That's through people helping and guiding people. But they're singing and they're dancing. They're joyful. They don't know anything different to what we know, the country we live in.
Yep, this is our dinner they made for us, which is
it's all cooked on
big batch of
hot
biryani.
coals. Kristy didn't eat it. She started to, but was sweating.
I felt so bad.
Her nose was running, eyes were running.
It's terrible. This is the beds that Pastor Pat's David Ware
Trust
bought for them. So if it wasn't for those kids would be sleeping on the floor.
And they're two a bed.
So
they snuggle up to a bed. Prior to that, they were sleeping on the floor. So the story behind this, though, this couple, this is their house. So they've given their house up to house these children. They go and rent a house, and they have the kids there with them as well because of the numbers. There's about 28 to 30 of them. Yeah. But when you see that they live with the dogs, that's how they're treated. They're put out to cast to see them now. It was pretty, when she describes it, it's pretty hard to take because we take for granted our kids have comfortable beds, roof over their heads, fed every day. Yeah, we have ups and downs, but nothing like these kids have ever been. It's not their fault they've been born at the end of the day.
So the next day we went to the MBKG.
It's a hard one. MBKG, which is a big orphanage. It's a big one.
But the thing with this one is it's from, there's a big hospital. Christian hospital's been there forever. So this is their orphanage, but they also take in mothers and grandmothers. So this is the grandmothers. So just so you understand some of their stories, this is Finlay. She's 82. Now she was married to a doctor, very well off. He died, and so she went to live with her son. He died, and the daughter-in-law didn't want her anymore. So now she lives here. But
so rejection again.
So that's the case with all these women here. So what we did for the day is...
Kristy sweated. Hands in, dirty,
Adam's
sweating.
Surprise.
Couldn't believe it.
I know how to clean. Yes, so we went through and cleaned...
10 of them, 10 rooms.
10 rooms for them. That's the size of the rooms, and it takes 2 people. 2 people per room.
And again, you
don't
can't,
touch
the smell doesn't, I can't record smell.
But you don't touch the electrical lights, put it that way. So this is their little room.
New beds, new curtains. So they have brand new curtains.
Yep.
They are new mattresses, which we lugged.
And that was Finlay's bed.
Everything was brand new except for the base and scrubbed. Everything was scrubbed.
All right, now you can talk about this one.
This is lovely. This is the leper colony. This is the front of it when you come in. So these buildings, the buildings to the right that you saw before were what the David Ware Trust has raised. These were those there. So these all running down through here. That's a toilet block that another company's building at the moment. These buildings go around, and that's their houses. And there's two. They're about the size of a double garage for us.
That's what they used to be like.
That's what they used to be like. Yeah. Which fell apart, asbestos roofs, condemned, no running water. Nothing like that at all.
Ignore the monkey.
So I've got photos of monkeys because there's monkeys everywhere running around.
All right, you explain who this is.
This young man here, his name's Raj. He was a jockey. Back in his day, he was a very wealthy jockey. He did very, very well. He is very dear to all of them. The David Ware Trust have been going there for so many years. They know them all. As you can see, he's lost his arm. His toes he doesn't have his toes. They're like little stumps through his feet. And his hands are basically his other hands like that. He can use them just to pull his socks on. He's blind in one eye and he can barely see in the other, and his hearing is half. But his mind is still active.
Very active.
And
sorry.
This is another lady. Is this the lady with the false leg?
Yes.
You
So
describe.
this lady here had leprosy. So when you get leprosy over there, we fortunately had the opportunity to listen to the director of the hospital
Yes.
explain it all to us, which was incredible. But this lady had leprosy. So what happens is you have leprosy, you get shunned immediately. So nobody tells anyone. So they keep going to work, they keep doing everything, and then all of a sudden it gets too much and people know, they kick them out. So this lady was married with 2 children. They found out she had leprosy, they kicked her out. She walked 400 kilometres to get to this hospital. That was the only way. She knew of it, so she walked there. In the process, obviously, she lost a leg because it ulcerates. Because leprosy, you lose your pain receptors. So, you're rolling along the road, you don't know what's happening, you can't feel your feet. But the beauty of this picture is last year, Jordan and his wife, Heidi, went and took her to the hospital and paid to get her a leg. So this to them was incredible because she's walked out and she said hello and she's had her eyes operated on. She had cataracts in her eyes. So that's why we love that picture. She just was so excited. At the moment, her husband is fighting to have a death certificate for her so that he can take everything that she owns. Because to them, leprosy is, you no longer
You're
exist.
an outcast at the end of the day.
But to see her walk and see people was just incredible. There's just a few
This
others.
young man, he can't walk at all. He drags himself around. His legs are all locked.
Yeah.
That gentleman there I was sitting with is deaf and blind, but he could feel me. You could touch him and he'd feel me, which is very hard to communicate. And to get him to his house, you had to have 2 to help him.
Because no one touches these people. And some of them have lived in that compound for 40 years and never been outside the
Yeah, they don't
gate,
have
so-
socialisation. There's zero. It's
All right.
compound wall.
Next day?
This is an eye-opener. This is the gypsy camps. So the government's given them land and then it's fend for yourself. So we didn't take our cameras in because gypsies are lovely, but they're known to light finger you, take your cameras and pickpocket you. So we were told to leave our cameras and we only had a couple with cameras, so this was not a lot of shots. But this day was an amazing day for God. There's a couple of things. I walked off the bus and my size again, I had these young adults standing there and I've come ducked down and under the bus and they're looking up like this at me. And I've dropped down and they said, he looks like the director. They interpreted it. He looks like the director from King Kong, something like that. And they're like, big. And anyway, so the young boys were like, there was another guy, Steve, with us. He's got no body fat on him. He's full of muscle. And they just hung off him. The young guys just crave male attention. And the females, the girls, just cling to the females. It's amazing to see. But I got off the bus, just back up here. So this is just an old road running there. That's a main highway running through the back. And Pat said to me, Ants, have a look over there. There's a baby being washed. So there's a culvert like that. There's a lady sitting here on the culvert with a blue tarpaulin underneath and just ladling. And the baby still had the umbilical cord bump. She was only 17 days old and was being washed out in the raw and in the open, unlike our kids would be home in a warm bath and that. But Patrick didn't know this, but we had a big gathering and we gave them food. So they had 2 kilos of rice, so we're lugging humps of rice there and oil and toys, a sarong and the men's skirt. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
So the family got that. So that's what the David Ware Trust had raised and given them. But while that was happening, they'd come up to Shifra, who's a lovely lady, and she interpreted to Pat and said that they want Pat to dedicate 2 babies, ended up being 3. and naming the babies, which he's never ever had. It's a first for Pat. And this is where God on this trip just started to change. We could see God was really walking and clearing a path where, unbeknownst to us, they'd prayed the week you guys all prayed over us. They had a big prayer meeting and they were praying that this year, because they've been doing it for a long time, that God would open doors in India, which is normally compressed. It's normally not happens. So this was the beginning of it. It got further and better as the days went on. So Patrick got to pray, dedicate and name 3 babies, and that little 17-day-old one was one of them as well, which was a lovely, which we don't have the videos yet, but we will have them.
So this is the second gypsy camp we went to, covered in bracelets, as you can tell, necklaces. This is how they make their money. So that's the only way they make their money, and they give them to you when you walk in. It's quite humbling. Which is a big thing, because that's their livelihood. That's their income, and they just give you all these bracelets and necklaces, and you think, oh my gosh. Anyway, this little girl is called Esther.
That's an amazing
and that's
story.
her adopted father. So the father and mother couldn't have children, so they were kicked out of their gypsy camp and sent to this one. This little girl Pastor Pat found in the bushes as a brand new baby.
Yeah, but he heard a rustling in the bushes, and he said, I just felt God to tell me, because you have dogs, you've got wild dogs everywhere, there's dogs everywhere. He went over, and this little baby, so just think of a newborn, malnutrition in a bag.
Yeah.
The legs were kicking, and that's what he heard.
Yeah.
He could have quite easily walked past and not heard it. So he picked the baby up and went to them, knew that they couldn't have kids, and asked them, and here she is now, 8 or 9, I think she is. So that was an amazing thing to see.
That was a lovely story. So
to give her a hug, and she's got life. And yes, they're in a gypsy camp, and you can see it's concrete road and it's basic, but she's got a life.
Yep. Sorry,
you're like rock stars in these camps. They want selfies galore.
Oh, selfie. Did we show you that one? Yeah,
so
Adam
you
trying
constantly,
to lose the kids.
The kids are constantly wanting you to lift them 2 at a time.
But the lovely thing was, I think this was the first time, wasn't it, that they got to pray over quite a few people.
So the doors kept opening the same day that there was a pastor there, the gentleman who was the head of the background beside Pat's. They were lining up for prayer. Yeah. They were just lining up for prayer. We had deliverance at one point too with a lady who she had eyes that,
I'll try and rush through because it's getting a bit late. So this is all the gifts. Everybody preparing all the gifts individually named for
this
each
is back at
the children.
The big orphanage.
At KBMG?
Yeah, MBKG.
MB or something, I can't remember. And then the next day we went there to play with the kids, and it's basically kid day.
Which was Sunday. It was a whole day with the kids.
Here's some of the little kids. Yeah, she loved me. Loved me. No. I had to show you. They've got their hair cut for various reasons. This girl is 13, and that's her child.
She's 13, and that's her child. Arranged marriage, and then it's illegal to have children and be married until you're 18. Yeah. So she got outcast straight away.
Yeah, so she got sent to the orphanage to be looked after. And this girl is, I think she's 16.
Yvonne. She's amazing, 17. This lady to the left. She's done a lot.
Another little one. Now, this is what amazed us. I don't know if you've got children. Have you ever seen a 2-year-old stand still for very long? These kids stand like that for half an hour and don't move.
Don't move.
They are incredible. So this was donating. They're so cute, aren't they?
This is the dedication of the basketball court. The David Ware Trust raised the money for that basketball court. And the girls, the senior girls in this orphanage are representing their province, which is the first time ever.
So they're all representing the team.
Like representing their state, in theory, out of an orphanage, which has never happened.
Yeah, it's pretty
incredible. So that's the girls. So I got to play basketball with them, and they're pretty good.
We've got video of that. It's quite concerning. Absolutely. Incredible.
I've got videos of me catching my lungs. I can tell you now.
So that's all the kids in the nursery. We spent a bit of time with them. This is a lunch that they did for us, which Boas's parents paid
Boas's parents supplied it. So Boas is the gentleman that sits right beside Pat, and his parents paid for the lunch, which was lovely. So we all sat together, all of us.
The whole school. Now, this is, I think you said a family in Australia.
Family in Australia, a lovely family that Pat knows, donated these chairs and tables.
Yeah, so that's...
no, but I'll find out. They were from India. This is what I was thinking for Indonesia. It's exactly, we straight away thought of this.
Then this is Pastor Pat's nephew.
That's Pat's nephew that he talks about.
Gorgeous.
And that's his wife, Heidi.
So they bought a TV so the kids can sit
They
there and,
donated a TV.
you know, do action songs and learn
then
all those
straight
sorts of
onto
things.
YouTube and playing kids.
These
They
are
were
little
straight
kids.
onto YouTube and we're singing songs.
Yeah. So,
So
they're
that's
all
the littlies.
Yeah.
That's the little bubbies.
Then we went on to do some face painting with all the kids. We set up little stations.
Kristy did that. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was
and
playing
that's-
basketball.
Yeah.
I was
That's-
basketball.
That's Adam pulling faces at all the
Yeah.
boys.
Can I just say before you quickly go,
Yeah.
at this camp, by the time we'd left, they knew Aussie, 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 oi, 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 off Pat. We'd walk past them and you'd hear them, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Pat had them going with Aussie, 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 oi, 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 the whole trip.
It was pretty incredible. Anyway, this is just quickly where the boys
So
live.
this is up the road. You've got to walk a fair way up. They've got another section of land. This is their dorms. It's in pretty dire needs of work. They just
Yeah.
had the roof replaced. The beds they can't use because the downstairs ceiling's too low, so they've put them up. That's got to have a false ceiling in. They can't use these beds yet that the David Ware Trust donated. They've got to put a bathroom. They're raising money for a bathroom out the back. There's a law that you can only have a certain amount of people per square feet. So they're slightly over by 4. There's only 34 boys. But they love it though. You see them, they are running around there like a jungle gym
Yeah.
parks and, you know.
So it's not all sad
This is the
and
night.
depressive. Trust me.
And don't forget, you're sweating every day and the mosquitoes are big enough to pick you up and carry you.
And this is what the kids look forward to every time. They love their Bollywood.
To see their faces grinning was unreal.
So that's what they live for, to do that day with us, to do the face painting and basketball, and then, you know, you spend the night with a bonfire and a few fireworks, and they had
We
a
did
great time.
fireworks too because
Yeah.
it's not illegal, so that was good.
All right.
Lighting up fireworks.
Yeah. Do you know where this is? Do you want to do that one?
This is the hospital. So this is the leper hospital. This is where we had, first time ever, Pat's never had it before, the director of the hospital gave us a full briefing on leprosy.
Yeah,
and in
it
a
was really
nutshell, like Kristy said, it's an airborne bacterial disease that kills the nervous system. So they feel no pain, and that's why they wear their skin away and their joints away, and they end up getting gangrene and have to get limbs cut off.
Yeah.
It's still got a stigma, but it's diminishing there.
Yeah.
It is getting less and less. There's only 8 left in the colony. There was 20 originally, but they've obviously passed away. But there's no real need for new ones because families are now taking them back, which is
Yeah.
good, the certain families. So there is a swing, so they're going to use this hospital for diabetes. They're starting to swing into diabetes side of things, and it's a general hospital too. Dirt roads, no drains.
Filing system.
That's their filing
Just
system.
had to show you.
I had to take a photo of it as I went past. I went, holy dooly. Imagine finding that file up in the top left.
That's their filing system. Anyway, now to the best part of the trip. This day was incredible for Adam and I because we got to baptise someone.
So this is the next move of God. Raj asked us to baptise him. So we got a blow-up pool and we're bucketing water in. He was so eager. He was itching to be baptised.
And if we weren't there, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Because nobody goes to see them.
Today is a very special day for all of us and especially for this beautiful, beautiful brother in the Lord. Honored privileged to baptize this gentleman. We thank God for it. So today we baptize him. So are you ready, Raj? Baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
That was just so amazing. That was just...
That was incredible.
It did. It brought tears to the big fella's eyes, I can tell you now.
Yeah. Then we went on to baptise
So this is
young
the
man.
same day. We had another call saying that 3 people wanted to be baptised. This is on a rooftop in the middle of India down a back street at someone's house.
Yep. Then we baptised his sister, which was incredible. I won't show you that because this is a big word that she gets from. Then we baptised this lady. Now she had, you say?
Yeah, no, you go.
She had a growth on her neck, and the young girl you just saw before prayed for her, and the growth went away straight away. So she wanted to be baptised.
She wiped the Hindu straight off her forehead.
Yeah.
Said, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah. And then a friend gave her heart to the Lord that night as well.
On the same night. And we're running on time frames too, mind you. We've got to go to another orphanage halfway through this.
Yep.
So this is something that Pat said is a first. They've never had this move of God through the mission trip.
Now, this is, we wanted to show you this one, the last one called Arise.
No, Mercy.
Mercy, sorry. So that's the little, so short story, a couple were going to move to America, but just before they left, someone said, the parents have died of these 2 people, could you take on the kids? They said yes, and now they run an orphanage. So this is
they
where...
were doctors, they were studying, they know Boaz really well, they're friends of Boaz, and they studied at CMC, which is a Christian hospital, 3,000 beds. So they've started this orphanage from scratch, and their government's knocked them down, now it's reopened, so they've had their struggles.
So that's where you put the babies in.
So you can imagine what that's
don't
for.
want to look after your baby before.
They open a door, disregard the baby.
But the good thing was, you as a church gave us some finances to go over there, and we looked for an opportunity to bless some people. So
this is where we bless.
We bought them pizza.
See the Domino's boxes?
Which probably means nothing to you, but I think 25 kids put their hand up going they've never had
a
pizza before. And we did want to buy them a meal.
So didn't have to split them apart or anything. I had to show them how to pull the pizza apart.
Yeah.
And then we're trying to throw them in the air.
This is a very important thing.
That's their way of thank youing us as a church.
Yeah, so thank you. So that was their way of saying thank you to all you guys.
So that's the couple.
Yep. There's us.
Us. Look at the size. Oh, it looks like a giant.
This is us giving out pizzas. This is where they get their teddy. And you cannot show India without showing dancing at the end. So thank you, everybody.
And no, I didn't dance.
It's just a crack up. Hang on, I'll stop it. So thank you very much. We had a great time.
Stay there.
Guys to say thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We brought them back. That's
Thank
for you.
you.
To say thank you from the people of India.
Stay up here for a minute. Thank you very much. How you went away because of the word of the Lord.
Yes.
How important was it to see what God was doing over there?
Oh, massively.
What did it do to you both?
What did it do? Changed.
Actually, move to the middle. So the camera
Majorly changed us. It, Pat asked the same thing. And you have an expectation, but this was well beyond what we thought. To see God move the way he moved, to still be free as a Christian with the kids and not have to be bound by what the government's telling you can and can't do. To see the smiles and the happiness on their faces. Like, I had this little boy at the flyer, and he saw me the first day and he loved my watch. I was down at their level. And we only got to see them briefly that first day when we were looking after the older ladies. And he just kept us fascinated. And this little boy picked me out. Now you can imagine there's 148 kids plus adults in the dark running around. He pinpointed me and he just stood there with his hands in the air, wanting a cuddle. And he just literally hung on to me and didn't want to let go. the whole time. Not like sat on my sides. He actually grabbed me. So that, I think from God's point of view, was the biggest blessing for me, to see what us as Westerners and as Christians can do for others less fortunate. That's probably the biggest expectation for me. But then the baptisms, seeing Raj being baptised was just next level for me. That a man who suffered all his life, been kicked away from society, wanting still to follow God, his mind's still active, his body's not, but the love he has for God, you want to pick him up, bring him home. He's that type of bloke. So that's for me, and we've had long talks about it, but it's pretty emotional. It's a roller coaster, but it's beyond what we thought, 100% beyond.
How about you, Kristy?
I think because for a long time it was humanitarian work. So what you're seeing here is, I don't know if it's still on. Sorry. What you're seeing here is 14, 15 years worth of just humanitarian work. You know, the gypsies sometimes take 3, 4, 5 years before they'll even accept you in. So what we saw was the benefit of everything that people had done before us. And Pastor Pat tells a story about a preacher in India who came in and preached and preached and preached and preached. And in the end, a beggar put his hand up and said, well, when are you going to feed us? So you've got to meet their needs first. If you can't meet their needs, they don't care who God is. They've got billions of them. They'll just make one up tomorrow. But when you go in there and you look after them and you feed them, and we even had feedback from the 2 bus drivers who said that they bring in people all the time from foundations who are going to place, and they said, you're the only group that has ever treated every place equally and equally as important. So for us to see God move was incredible, but it had been years and years and years in the making. So it was an honour for us to see it.
Yeah. Every trip, I think in every mission trip, I've always conscious that you can come back from a trip, and if you just talk about it, sometimes people can diminish it a bit because they don't mean to, but it happens because you're carrying something so special when you're away. What impact do you think this trip has had on you both personally?
I don't know.
So you've come back. How has it
hard to
changed
come
your
back.
life?
You see things differently. It's emotional for me. Yeah. It's hard to come back.
I think what stuck out to me was, you know, we're 27 million people in this country, and we've got it good, and yeah, that's great. Our country's worked hard and we deserve it. But when you realise that over half the population of the world lives like this is the biggest population country in the world, and they live like that, that's when you start to take a step back. And we love God, and we love where we live. I'm not moving to India tomorrow
No.
for a lot of reasons. But to be able to know that just you being there and getting a smile meant so much to those kids.
Yeah.
So even though we're over here, we can go over there and just show them that little bit of love and a little bit of caring. These kids aren't used to being cared for. So
Just to see the simplicity of their life and what we can give.
How significant is the touch?
Oh, significant. That's what I'm saying. It's beyond what you expect.
Yeah.
And that's been laid for years beforehand.
Yeah.
They don't get socialisation. They're in that compound. They go to school. They study 6 days a week. They're under a strict ruling, which is good, so they've got a discipline. To see them smile and get so excited to see you, and they don't know us from bar of soap at the end of the day, but they just want that love. They want that touch. Because remember, they're rejected. Their whole life lives on rejection. And to have someone not reject them, and that's probably the hard thing for me. And those girls, those 28 girls at Arise, that's where it really started for me. That was that first day of going, wow, these kids are the lowest of lows, absolute lows, and have been treated like a dog. And what got me is their community rejected them, not just their family. Their whole community rejected them.
So even though you know it, and we know this, when you went over there, is it still hard to comprehend how people can treat other people?
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, 100%. I don't get it. that's probably the hard thing for me coming back into our society, is I have to watch now that in the job I'm in, I have to watch that I don't see people differently when they're whinging about the smallest little thing, the first world problems, when you know, there's kids over there that are starving, being rejected, and then being killed. And we didn't tell you about, there's another thing that's just happened over there there's nothing in the press. We can talk about it now. We couldn't put anything on media while we were away. Is there's Christian families have been persecuted. There's 200 kids now with no families, and they're Christian families. Their parents have been killed and slaughtered out. So they're sitting in another refuge camp waiting for orphanages to be funded. So that's something that us as a church, there's a couple of things we'll talk about later on, but it's a big thing on my heart, is making sure these kids are fed and educated and put into orphanages, because I can see the benefit of the orphanages big time, and how God, in a Christian one, how God works with them and moves.
Can you let the church know, and we were talking on the way back, actually I was listening, you guys were talking on the way back from the airport.
And we were so tired.
You were talking about the demonic oppression, the things, and how you just explained it, what you were doing, and when you said, hey, let's pray, let's stand against the attacks.
So my background's always been deliverance. I've always been brought up in deliverance. I grew up in that background in Melbourne, so it's nothing new to me. The second gypsy camp where we were praying for people, and I remember I said the lady with the funny eyes, she had the most demonic eyes, and she wanted this oil blessed, and Pat kept putting it till last and kept moving through. She was on her knees, and they literally, 3 of them start, I'm watching them praying, laying hands, and the next minute deliverance is happening. She's banging her hands, and arms and legs are going everywhere, and you could just sense these spirits just disappearing, like punching up. And then I also, straight away, my instinct is, hang on a minute, we didn't, the beginning of the day, pray for protection going into these camps. So Pat come up to me afterwards with a big grin. He goes, how good was that? I said, yeah, but we need to pray as soon as we get in the bus. And he looked at me, and I said, no, I'm serious. If you don't, I'm going to do it. So we got in the bus, because you could feel it. You could absolutely sense the black magic through it. Is, even though they know our God and they love the God, they still sit over that fence side, and that's a hard thing to see. We got in the bus, straight away praying. Pat prayed, and then I looked at him, and there wasn't enough, and I've jumped in and gone, no, and we just started rebuking the devil, binding spirit, pouring the blood of Jesus, because we could see things starting to happen. Pat whacked his head. We're walking, and the streets are really bad. The corner of a concrete slab, it's literally at my nose height, and he was being stupid that night. There's a couple of, I'll show you some other shots later on. We're up in the pharmacy getting your eye drops, and the next minute I see Pat just cracked straight into the corner, right there, the corner of this concrete, and this was just prior to where we were going. And I just said to Pat, we've got to keep praying every day. We have to do this, because we're in a world that's not God's world, big time. And I had then people come up to me afterwards, after the bus trip, because I thought, oh, am I stepping over? Because it's not our group. We're visitors into their group. And they both all come up and said, oh, we're so glad you did that. We're so glad you did that, because they weren't thinking of it either. Because you're in the moment. You're in the moment, big time.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. Would you go back?
Oh, 100%. We're back next year. We're going back next year.
We haven't
even touched the. We've got plans. We've got things we want to raise money for.
Heaps.
Us in Australia can do a lot to help. We can run on the back of the David Ware Trust. They have an amazing foundation set up, but their platform is next level, which we'll adopt into Indonesia, the Philippines. We'll keep doing what they're doing, but we can take that and move with it. But yeah, massive eye opener. But the way God worked was probably the biggest thing for me. Yeah. And seeing those kids just so happy, like this little one asleep like that, being comfortable, they don't get that.
No.
So that's the thing that got me, is they're in a routine. They don't get that love. Yeah. So I'd recommend it to anyone. It's the best fun.
Amen. Thank you, guys. Can we give them a big thanks? Isn't it amazing what God does? It's amazing to see, this is just one nation, India. We're going to Indonesia. Just this year for us as a church, how it shifted things as a church, because when a church starts to look outward, things change. And we know that there are other places apart from in India, Indonesia, Philippines, Nepal, Fiji. We've got different areas, and one person may not be able to go to all different places. But what I think is significant is God spoke a word. Adam and Kristy responded to that word. And because they responded to that word, they were able to go there and do what God had called them to do. And that's only one small part. And it only seems one maybe insignificant part, but yet it's still a great part, because we don't know the ramifications and we don't know what's down the road, what God may do in people's lives. And I think you do carry that back, that when you come back from a mission trip, that you carry something back with you. You carry something back that, first and foremost, I think is this overwhelming sense of, Lord, how blessed are we? How blessed are we? I mean, who knows, one day we might be able to go to the village where Melissa's from. We can't go there at the moment, Richard, because you get in trouble, don't you? You get there. It's a dangerous spot, but who knows what God could do. And so we've been able to sow things into there. We don't know what we can do in the different areas, although they did say to me, Pastor Kus did say there's a place that he'd like us to go to, but he was walking through the mud, and I wasn't too fussed on walking through the mud. I might send Jesse there. Jesse, you can go walk through the mud. Who knows what it is? Look, I just want to give God the glory this morning. I want to give God the glory and say, how good is our God? How faithful is our God? I want to thank you all for what you've been able to do and sow into missions. I want to thank you all for your heart's desires. And this is, it can be a bit overwhelming, because it's like you want to go out there and save the world. You want to go out there and do so much. And in my heart, I've gone, Lord, I want to do more in Indonesia. I want to be able to do things in Israel. I want to do things, and it's like, how do we do all this? And it's like what you do when things are overwhelming, just one bite at a time. One bite at a time, and whatever God is opening up. And so I do pray and encourage that you would pray about going on a trip. Who knows? Maybe, Lynn, maybe God will say, you want to go to India? Who knows? Hey, I better not say that too loud. He may say that to me. Do you want to go to India? So we never know what God, I guess it's, the call of God is so significant in our lives. And what you grab by moving into missions as individuals and as a church is it shifts your focus from now to eternity. You have eternal perspective. You have an eternal perspective of what can God do and what is, and then our responsibilities as human beings, that what are we able to do. And this is not even looking at South America. This is not even looking at what perhaps God could do there in all those places. I did say to my sister this week, she said, did you like Indonesia? I said, yeah. I said, yes, I did, but I kind of like Europe more. But we go where the Lord tells us to go. And we open up what God tells us to open up. And if God is allowing us to go to places and to work, to share the gospel through good works, and then perhaps share the gospel through praying, laying on of hands, who knows where God can do. I just want to stop this morning with just saying, church, let's keep praying. Let's keep praying. Over the coming months, we're going to show you different ways we can do different things. And while we can't do everything, we can do a small part. But God is good, isn't He? Yeah. Can we stand this morning?